Muy bien, bienvenidos y bienvenidas. Y vamos a practicar esta noche. Vamos a practicar con algo que será quizás un poquito difícil. We're going to practice with something that may be a little bit more difficult, like toward the second half of the class. Oh, maybe more difficult only because I'm using a new app, which theoretically should let you guys actually plug in and try to plug in some answers. So this is kind of you'll be kind of guinea pigs for about 15 minutes. We'll see if you can actually, click on the screen when I share it. But I did find a new website that I really, really like. My problem is that for us to do the whole lesson live, for you to do it, again, if I sent you off into groups, breakout room groups to do it, you would have to pull up a second screen with a different, different tab. And I'm not sure everybody feels comfortable with that yet. So we're going to try to do this same lesson, but together. And then I will send it to you as a total package so you can work it in, as part of the homework on the free time. Get that part, yay. Okay, I do want to know if you guys, because I know Fred had asked for this, and I don't know how you feel about doing this tonight. Did you want to check out episode 3 and 4 of Destinos and pause to go through explanations, or do you want to kind of skip doing that and get straight to the lesson?
I could skip it if it really was Fred that was most interested in it.
Do the rest of you want to do it?
I agree. I could skip it.
You want to skip through? Okay. I mean, I can devise some little things because actually there's some audio links that and actually I can adapt some questions if you would like. So here's the second question. Would you like me to adapt some questions about those two little episodes, 3 and 4, comprehension questions about the story?
I think I get it.
Or because right now at this point it's still kind of easy to understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can skip that.
Yeah.
Okay. Plan B. That's good. We'll cut through all that.
Understanding Costurus is a little more complicated.
Yeah.
Although
there you go.
It's really engrossing to watch. I was explaining it all to Dave. I said, "Oh, you might want to watch this." And here's the story. And half an hour later, I'm still giving him the story.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about Destinos is that they do kind of take you through many, many countries. So you hear many people speaking Spanish with different accents, which is really good. And they do the little thing with the slow speech for student learners, and then speech starts to approach a little bit normal speaking rate. I wouldn't say, I still think it's a little bit slow, even what they term as the normal speaking rate. But they do have a couple of speeds so that you can, kind of work that, which is always a good thing to do. But, it's kind of nice. They threw out some things like, you heard little phrases like, oiga, hey, when you call up to somebody, oiga, hey, literally it means listen up, hear me, but it's their way of saying, hey, oiga. Did you understand the thing about the cofradías? That was the only thing that I did want to ask you. They talked about the cofradía, and then they showed a great big parade with people carrying a float. The cofradía translates to a brotherhood. And if you are Catholic or you've been around Catholic people, it would be kind of akin to what people in Catholic churches belong to for, let's say, Knights of Columbus. My dad was in the Knights of Columbus. Cofradía is literally a brotherhood. So, and these cofradías are clubs, really they're church clubs, composed all of men. Yeah, machismo, that's the way it is. But the cofradías, you know, they do charity work, they do work in support of whatever the local parish church is. But the big thing is Semana Santa, and Semana Santa, especially in the southern part of Spain, is a huge deal. Semana Santa is Holy Week, so that's the week before Easter. And during Semana Santa, for 6 days, really Monday through Saturday, they have parades through the streets. So that little snippet they showed you, that little video clip of like the masses of people in the middle of the street and the big floats going through, that goes on for 6 days during Holy Week. And it is crowded like that. And a lot of little towns, Sevilla is very famous for that, but other towns in Spain do it, especially in Andalusia. And men will literally get under the floats. These are not mechanized. It's not like, like Rose Parade, New Year's Eve in Pasadena in California. It's not like that at all. They usually have about 20 men with padding all over and knee pads in case they have an issue. Oh my God. And they literally get under the floats and carry them through the streets. And there are bands that play. And there are people who feel religiously moved to kind of do the Spanish verb of a rap, which is called the saeta. And the saeta is a spontaneous poem that someone will just start like rapping out a poem as the parade passes, religious in nature, relating to the sorrows of Mary, Jesus's mother, related to crucifixion, related to the glory of the resurrection. I mean, pick a religious theme, something like that. And they are a very big deal. And the bars, of course, do a booming business after the parade passes. So, yeah, people come in for a drink, they come in to have their tapas, So that Semana Santa is that big a deal. I am sure they probably didn't do it this year. I don't know for sure, but I would bet they did not. Just so that you know, culturally speaking, these saeta is a thing. Now, she's going to go in the next episode. She will be going off to, I believe it is Madrid. So they'll carry on the story from there. The idea, however, of this old man, Don Fernando, in search of a lost wife is not terrifically far-fetched. Because back in 1936, 1937, when the Spanish Civil War was going on, there was a lot of very, very devastating blanket bombing. Whole towns really bombed down to rubble. And because, of course, there was no internet, because telegraph and telephone lines were down because of the bombing, people did lose track of whole bunches of their family members if they lived in different towns. So it really is not terrifically far-fetched. He was probably a person who had to get out of Dodge plenty fast, because he was on the wrong side, he was on the losing side of the war. And there were a huge number of people who emigrated to Mexico, to Venezuela. A lot of people went to Venezuela. A lot of people went to all parts South America after the war, because they knew they would be arrested if they stayed in Spain. So it was not unusual. You look at por ejemplo, that one, Muguruza, the young lady who's a tennis player from Venezuela. She's now from Spain. She plays for Spain now. But her grandparents had come to Venezuela from Spain because of the war. So this was a very common thing, just so that you know. It's not totally like what a hokey story. People did that. So, okay. Muy bien. Vamos a ver y vamos a practicar con ¿qué? Con estas expresiones con C. We're going to practice with some of these C expressions. So you need that either a tab on your computer that will pull up the file for those practice beginning of sentences. They're not all really questions. You know, I begin a sentence and you'll be filling it in, right? Things that use se for emotional expressions, right? And these will be reflexive in nature. They will behave like reflexive verbs, meaning the me will have to pair up with a yo verb, the te will have to pair up with a tu verb, the se will have to pair up with an él a usted or with an ellos y a ustedes verb, and the nos will have to pair up with a nosotros verb. Okay, ¿está bien? Necesitan un repaso. Do you need a review of what those verbs are and what they're about, or should we just send you off to do some practice with
We can practice.
with those filler questions right away?
That's okay. We can practice.
Practica, okay, vale. I will send you off, and again, it begins with mi esposo se enoja or mi esposa se enoja. You know, my husband gets mad or my wife gets mad. Cuando, when, and you fill in the rest, right? So it's
Or
practice
annoyed,
actually.
right?
Oh, pues es un poquito más, it's a little more gets mad. Because enojar is to anger. And me enojo, I get angry. So it's a little step above annoyed. You could say annoyed. Okay, so annoyed would be more like mi esposo se molesta.
Oh,
Se molesta, he gets, it bugs him. He gets annoyed. He gets peeved. Peeved, you know, it gets under his skin. But se enoja is really gets angry, right? Then I used a past in the next one. Me enojé, I got angry. When? And you'll relate something. Nos animamos, we get bucked up, we get pumped up. Animarse is to cheer up, to get pumped up, okay? Meaning you're getting yourself to a state of feeling good. Los chicos se animaron, the kids cheered up because, right? Una joven de 16 años se pone roja, blushes, literally turns red. Por lo general, los niños se enojan porque me enojé cuando, and you know, I put a time phrase on that. Me alegro porque I get happy, I become happy because me pongo nervioso, me pongo nerviosa. Cuando I get nervous, I become nervous, right? Me asusté, I got scared. Mi hija se asustada, my kid used to get scared. Nos tranquilizamos cuando we chill out, we become calm when, right? Me preocupo porque I get worried because. Las mamás se ponen preocupadas cuando moms get worried when something happens. Me pongo frustrado o me pongo frustrada cuando I get frustrated. Bien, ¿ok? ¿Vale? ¿Somos cuántos? Somos 8 menos yo 7. Dos grupos. I'll put you off into 2 different groups. So do remember to hit that join button when you see the join button come up. 7 minutos, 7 minutes. Sound good? ¿Sí?
15.
¿Te parecen bien? Seems okay to you for 7 minutos, ¿no?
We'll have to talk really.
Okay. Bien. A ver. Okay. Bueno, here we go. Aquí vamos. I will open up the rooms and I'll give you a signal when it's a minute to go. Bien. Magnífico. ¿Tienen ustedes preguntas después de practicar un poquito o no?
I have
We
a
only had
question,
one
Rob.
group.
Yeah, there was only one group.
Oh. ¿Qué
It's
We
pasó?
were
okay.
all in it. We were all in it together.
Oh, es por mi error. Wow, you know what? That's my mistake. I think I forgot to hit the button. Perdón.
We're all friends.
Tengo mucha vergüenza. Ay,
Yeah.
Didn't mind.
Todos los amigos. It's okay.
Yeah. ¿Cómo se dice crush? We were talking about the 16-year-old girl, and I said crush.
Oh,
And when
está
I,
enamorada. Está enamorada. She's in love.
because the dictionary online said amor platónico. And I thought that makes no sense.
Oh, Platon, no.
Platonic love?
No.
Yeah.
I would agree that would not be.
Okay.
Yeah, because a crush really isn't platonic. Well, it's platonic in the sense that it may be from afar.
Right.
Kind of,
Right.
but yeah. No, está enamorada de él, just in love with. Yeah. Bien. ¿Y más? ¿Y más?
I had a question. We didn't discuss it in the group, but I was just trying to translate this for the one where the children were cheered up or happy. And I was trying to say, because they went swimming all afternoon.
Ah.
So when I typed what I thought and then I went to translate it and they put in like an ah before the nadar.
Fueron a nadar. Fueron a nadar. They went to swim.
Ah in there. I said fueron.
Because if you say they went
Okay.
to swim.
Oh, it's the
Fueron a.
Okay.
Fueron a nadar. They went to swim.
Well,
Now, if you made that present, it would be van a nadar. They're going to swim.
okay.
Van a nadar, you've heard that before. That doesn't
Right,
sound
yeah.
strange. But when I turn van into a past, fueron, it still needs that little word
Still
a.
needs the ah. That's why. Okay.
Eso es,
I
yeah.
had to add it when I saw that, but I was.
No matter what tense ir goes into,
It always keeps the ah. Even. Okay.
sí.
Okay.
Oh, iban a nadar, they went to go swimming. They were going to go swimming. You know,
Okay.
sí.
Then that makes
Could
sense.
be fueron a nadar, could be iban a nadar. They were going to go swimming. And yeah, see. You still need that little ah. Ir needs ah after it, between itself and that second verb.
No matter what tense.
No matter what tense.
Okay, and then
El
if you
tiempo
want
más corto.
If you want to say something, there was a huge spider, because this happened at our cabin, huge spider crawling up the wall, on the wall. What word do you use for the on the wall?
En la pared.
Okay.
En la pared. Subió la pared, he was going up the wall.
Okay.
Subió la pared. Sí.
Okay.
Ah, sí, Susana, tienes otra pregunta.
Yeah, I do. For number 14, I was putting about los hijos conducen de noche, and I really wanted to say anoche, and I didn't understand why when I checked the translation, the kids drive at night is de noche instead of anoche.
Oh, perdón, ¿cuál es el número otra vez?
14.
14.
They get
Voy a
worried.
ver. Las mamás se ponen preocupadas cuando
Los hijos conducen
conducen.
de
Conducen.
Understand.
Oh,
And they
de
said
noche.
De noche, and I would think at night. I
I
would
would
be
have said
anoche.
anoche. All
De
right.
noche. Pues anoche es last night.
Okay.
Even though it's two separate, if you put a and then noche, two separate words. You
No, it's all one word.
It's
Anoche
right.
would mean,
right,
oh, so you want to say at night.
at night.
Por la noche, at night.
Okay.
Or-
Por la noche.
Okay.
Somebody might express it as de noche, but por la noche at night.
Okay.
During the night, durante la noche, por la noche.
or
That's
like-
usually the way. If you
Okay.
change that into anoche, it turns into the idea of last
night. Even though
Even though you make it two words, they
right.
don't allow you to do that.
I guess it sounds.
Yeah, you
the
can't
same.
really make, that you can't really separate those out. Anoche is,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. De nada. De nada, por
Ah.
supuesto. Ok, ¿hay más preguntas?
Sí.
Sí.
El número 7.
7, sí.
And I was looking at it as more annoyed than angry, but me enojé anoche cuando el viento estuvo muy caliente. Or would I say el viento hizo mucho calor?
El viento, the wind?
The wind was really hot. That was so.
El viento era caluroso.
Ah,
El viento era caluroso because hace calor is talking about the whole weather as a set. And if you want to
Okay.
describe the wind as it was a hot wind,
Yes.
pues más como estaba. El viento estaba muy calurosa, o muy caluroso, perdón. Estaba muy caluroso. The wind was really hot. Estaba caluroso. It was a hot wind. Estaba caluroso. Because it was a temporary condition. Estaba caluroso.
Right.
Yeah. If you just want to say hacía calor, it was hot. Hacía calor y hacía mucho viento. It was very windy. That's fine too. There are different ways that people might phrase that. There's probably no one way to really say it.
I just didn't know if we needed to go into the hace calor construction or.
Hace calor if you leave out viento and you put it kind of separate. Hacía calor y hacía mucho viento. That you can do.
Okay.
But if you want to say a hot wind, un viento caluroso, then el viento estaba muy caluroso. Would make sense. Okay. Bien, bien. Más.
Uno
Sí,
más.
keep,
Número
dime.
7. Again. Me enojé el 15 de abril cuando impuestos necesitar.
Cuando.
Does that make sense?
No. Otra
Impuestos.
¿Encuestos?
Impuestos.
Oh, impuestos.
Impuestos
Taxes.
necesitar.
Los impuestos y el verbo.
So, me enojé el 15 de abril.
Oh, el 15 de abril.
Impuestos necesitar.
Cuando tengo que pagar. When I had to pay.
It makes me upset. On the 15th of April, I get upset because taxes are required.
Okay. Okay.
So I was looking and I found multiple different things. So I threw a dart ball. I picked a couple and we'll see how it came out.
Porque es la fecha límite de los impuestos. It's the deadline for taxes.
Yeah.
Porque es la fecha límite, because it's the deadline. Fecha límite is deadline, ¿sí? Porque es la fecha límite de los impuestos, because it's tax day, and they're due. That would probably be the
I was looking at required. So same type of meaning.
Quieren
Required.
porque requieren. Porque requieren que pague. It requires that I pay. Requiere que pague los impuestos. You could say it that way. Requiere. The government requires, right? See?
Right.
Requiere que requires that. Requires that I pay up. Has to become something like this. Requiere, and you mean el gobierno, claro. Requiere que yo pague los impuestos. Requires that I pay. And it won't be pago, it'll be pague, because the government is demanding that I do something. And the government may require it, but we don't know whether or not I will do it.
No, right. So if it's me having required doing the action, but if it's just I get annoyed on that day, because the taxes, not necessarily my taxes, but it's just that day. That's the date on the calendar. I'm just upset that day because taxes are required, are due, are in
Sí.
you know, whatever.
Sí. Sí.
Not that I have to do
Porque
it.
es la fecha límite.
April 15th is just everybody. I
Right.
don't like.
Bad mood, of course. Claro. Muy normal. Muy normal.
Okay.
Porque es la fecha límite, because it's the deadline. Yeah. And, you know, that's probably the way they would express that the easiest.
So I saw another word for taxes as well, other than impuestos. Is there something, another adjective or noun for taxes?
I always hear impuestos. Vamos a ver. I'm going to take a quick look. Y sí, impuestos, impuestos. Oh. No, creo que no carga. Quizás, maybe, no. Creo que no. No. Impuestos are impuestos. I think there is a different word if you're talking about tariffs versus taxes.
Okay.
You know, which is a type of tax.
Right.
But yeah, arancel. Arancel would be a tax but it's more like a customs tax.
Gravar.
You might pay, let's say, through customs, that kind of thing.
So I saw in my book, it was maybe it's a verb. If you were to tax something, gravar.
Oh, gravar, but that's a verb, yeah. Gravar.
Yeah, so, okay.
Gravar would be to tax, meaning somebody imposes that tax.
Right, okay. Makes sense.
So Marilyn, is impuesto income tax or any kind of tax?
Any kind of tax.
Oh, okay.
Any kind of tax.
Okay.
For the deadline, do you say the deadline of taxes?
Fecha límite, yeah, deadline.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I meant you would put day.
O el día de pagar, el día de pagar los impuestos, day of paying taxes, would have the same meaning. Income tax, real specifically, would be impuesto sobre ingresos. Ingresos would be the money you take in, you know, an ingress, right? Or impuesto de ganancias. Ganancias would be your earnings, the tax on your earnings, because it's the same meaning. Ganancias are earnings. Ingresos are your money coming in. Same thing. You know, just different words for expressing that same idea. Impuestos de ingresos. Eso es.
Libre de impuestos.
Libre de impuestos, tax free.
Muy
Duty
bien.
free. Yeah. Sí, libre de impuestos. Exactamente, sí, tienes razón. Ok. Buenas preguntas. ¿Tienen buenas preguntas? ¿Hay otras o no? ¿No? Ok. Vale. Vamos a ver. We're going to take a look at a video. 7 minutos. This will probably be about 7 minutes. I am slowing him down because he does talk rather fast. But he uses a really interesting word, and I want to plug this in to our practice for next week. We're going to plug this in and still include all of those becoming and getting words. So we're going to mix this new word up with the old ones that you just finished practicing. And this is a verb that is really, really helpful. Aguantar. Aguantar. And more specifically in the negative sense, no aguantar. No aguantar, and of course we have to conjugate aguantar, means can't stand. Oh, can't stand it, okay? So the theme of this video is the things I can't stand about summertime. Because we're about at that time, you know, is summer getting a little old?
Mm-hmm.
If you live in the Midwest, maybe not.
It was old 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, it got old 6 weeks ago. Keith, I'm with you. Estoy de acuerdo. I agree completely. You know, by this time of year, estamos hartos. We are fed up. Estamos hartos. So I'm going to give you probably a couple other words that kind of relate to that. And we're going to build them into some questions for your practice to prep for next week. But this is one. Estar harto, H-A-R-T-O, harto means to be fed up. So there are about 2 or 3 words that will be related, and they're all negatives. They're fun to, because we get to complain. But soportar is to put up with, tolerate, and aguantar is to tolerate, put up with. So he's going to talk about things. So he's going to put these into context, so you have a contextual idea of how these are used. And if you have any questions after the video, we'll take a look at that. But I'm going to try to make this bigger. I'm probably going to put on, I think I'm going to put on the closed captions. And this will be kind of a prep for speaking next week. Gets to be a complaining week. Yay! Okay, a ver. Oh, really slow music. Las cosas que no aguanto de...
Bueno, pues el verano en general es una estación que a mí me encanta, al igual que el invierno, me gustan mucho, aunque el verano tiene sus cosas negativas, como por ejemplo el calor. Yo personalmente no aguanto el calor, no lo aguanto, no aguanto el calor, porque mira, el frío yo puedo aguantarlo. El frío puedo aguantarlo, pero el calor no lo aguanto. No aguanto el calor.
No aguanto el calor. I can't stand the heat. El frío lo aguanto. I put up with the cold. I can stand the cold. I can put up with the cold.
¿Por qué? Bueno, pues porque si hace frío, te pones un abrigo y ya está. Y no pasa nada. Ya no tienes frío. Pero con el calor no puedes hacer nada. Si tienes calor, tienes que aguantarte. A no ser que tengas aire acondicionado. Seas un afortunado o una afortunada y tienes aire acondicionado, pues en este caso, pues puedes refrescarte un poco, pero en mi caso, donde yo vivo, en el salón, no hay aire acondicionado y bueno, pues tengo que aguantarme. No tengo otra opción, tengo que aguantar el calor y ya está. Aunque personalmente no lo aguanto porque sudo mucho, me tengo que duchar constantemente y yo no lo aguanto. No aguanto esa situación, no la aguanto. Aquí en mi casa pues soy afortunado y tengo en la habitación, tengo aire acondicionado y bueno, pues estoy bien, estoy bien. Otra cosa que no aguanto en verano es que donde yo vivo, en mi casa, normalmente siempre hay mucho aparcamiento, pero en verano, como vivo cerca de la playa, hay miles y miles de turistas y es imposible encontrar aparcamiento. Y yo personalmente no aguanto llegar a mi casa a las 10 de la noche, y que no haya aparcamiento. No lo aguanto. No aguanto la falta de aparcamiento que hay en verano en mi barrio. Y bueno, pues ¿cuál es ¿Qué es lo único que puedo hacer al respecto? Pues lo único que puedo hacer al respecto es ir andando. Ya está. Básicamente tengo el coche aparcado en mi casa, pero no lo muevo porque si lo muevo no vuelvo a tener aparcamiento. Básicamente pierdo el aparcamiento y en verano es imposible aparcar. No aguanto la falta de aparcamiento. Bien, aunque me estoy quejando de cosas muy superfluas, de cosas muy pequeñas, estupideces, solo quiero que veas cómo funciona este verbo. Ok, otra cosa que no aguanto son las personas, no aguanto a las personas que tiran basura al suelo. Eso me da mucho coraje, me llena de rabia. No las aguanto, no aguanto a ese tipo de gente. Me dan asco. Ese tipo de personas me dan asco y no los aguanto, no los aguanto. Sinceramente, no me gustaría tener a una de estas personas como amigo, personalmente. No aguanto a este tipo de gente. Bueno, y por supuesto, otra cosa que no aguanto del verano, como he dicho antes, el calor y también el ruido. No aguanto el ruido que hace la gente con los coches y con las motos. No aguanto el ruido. ¿Por qué? Bueno, porque es verano, yo en mi salón no tengo aire acondicionado y tengo todas las ventanas abiertas. Y entra mucho ruido de la calle y no lo aguanto, no lo soporto, no aguanto el ruido porque no me deja dormir, tengo que usar tapones y bueno, es un poco incómodo. No lo aguanto, la verdad es que no lo aguanto. En general, el verano me gusta, pero hay algunas cositas que no aguanto. Y lo más importante, y estoy seguro que tú tampoco lo aguantas, no lo soportas, es, queridos estudiantes de español, queridos hispanófilos e hispanófilas, no aguanto el zumbido de los mosquitos.
Zumbido de los mosquitos es buzzing of mosquitoes.
I don't like
Zumbido, that means buzzing.
No lo aguanto. Y por favor, si estás escuchando este podcast y tú tampoco aguantas el zumbido de los mosquitos, deja un like, porque estoy seguro, 100% seguro de que tú tampoco lo aguantas. El zumbido de los mosquitos es insoportable. Es
Insoportable, it is intolerable. Intolerable.
una de las cosas que menos aguanto en toda mi vida. Si yo escucho por la noche el zumbido de un mosquito, me tengo que levantar y cazarlo. Lo
Y
siento.
cazarlo, hunt it down. Cazar is to hunt. Cazar con Z. Cazar with a Z is to hunt.
Tengo que cazar a ese mosquito porque es que no aguanto el sonido de ese zumbido en la oreja de... No lo aguanto. Hispanófilos e hispanófilas, yo lo siento, pero no aguanto el zumbido de los mosquitos. Bueno, otra de las cosas que no aguanto, aunque personalmente no tengo que hacerla porque tengo aire acondicionado, por suerte, en esta oficina, en esta habitación, yo tampoco aguanto, no aguanto trabajar con calor. No aguanto trabajar con calor. Pero por suerte tengo aire acondicionado y no tengo que aguantar esta situación. Pero imagino que puede haber gente que no tenga aire acondicionado y tienen que aguantar trabajar con tanto calor. Yo por suerte, como tengo aire acondicionado, no tengo que aguantar trabajar con tanto calor. No es necesario. Así que bueno, Antes de terminar con este podcast, quiero decirte que muchas de las cosas que he dicho que no aguanto, yo entiendo que son tonterías, son estupideces,
They're dumb little things.
pero quiero que tengas en cuenta que lo he dicho, es verdad, no las aguanto. Yo no suelo quejarme mucho. En general hay muy pocas cosas que yo no aguante. Hay muy pocas cosas que yo no aguante. Pero me he quejado un poco para que entiendas cómo funciona este verbo. Sé que son tonterías y son cosas muy superfluas y no tienen importancia. Pero yo quería que tú vieras cómo funciona. Bueno, más que tú vieras, que tú aprendieras cómo funciona este verbo.
Okay. Eso es. That's it. Y ustedes van a practicar con este verbo aguantar la semana que viene, right? Week that's coming. And I will just quickly type in, although you'll get this a little more formally. Uy, ¿dónde está? Aquí, necesito mi whiteboard. Uy, a ver. Una caja de text. Aquí, ok. Aguantar. Perdón. Aguantar y soportar. Perdón, soportar. I need to flip and I cannot flip there. Soportar. To stand. To tolerate. Uy, a ver. To stand, to tolerate, to put up with. Okay, so when we make it a negative, no aguanto, it's just I can't stand, right? I can't stand. And we will put the idea of can't stand, even though we're not using poder, right? Another way of talking about this is estar harto o estar harta. If you're a female, you will express it as estoy harta. Estoy harta is to be fed up with. To be fed up with. Bien? Aguantar, soportar, no aguantar, no soportar, o estar harto, estoy harta, to be fed up with. Bien? And we're going to work that in with some more of these, get and become phrases. And we'll give you some practice using those next week, la semana que viene. But you'll get that as a thing you can prep on a little bit. ¿Sí? ¿Entienden? ¿Entienden? Ok. Vale. Vamos a hablar de quejarse. All these things are going to be things that tie back to this, which is a reflexive, a true reflexive. Quejarse, to complain. And you know what? I should change this to quejarse de, because we always use de after quejarse. To complain about. Por ejemplo, me quejo del calor. Me quejo del calor. I complain about the heat. Bien, me quejo de. So we're going to build these all into a little fun, neggy, complaining, fun.
Whining.
Whining, there you go. I was trying to think of a
Bitch session.
Yeah, there you go. Gracias, Keith. Yeah, a bitch session. Because this is about that time of year where we kind of start to lose our ability to put up with a lot of this kind of stuff. ¿Está bien? Okay. A ver, so you'll get some little fun questions to talk about that. We will have a totally positive thing to read. It'll be the complete opposite of that. It will be a positive thing to read about this week. But you'll get that as well. We may get time to look into it yet during session, but I think we won't. I think I'll just assign it. It'll be a little reading assignment. And it's kind of a feel good. It's a feel good COVID reading. It's about something nice that happened to somebody. Something nice that happened. A big surprise, and it'll be the total opposite of the no aguanto. It'll be a nice thing that came out of a bad situation. So we'll always want to leave people with a good feeling. A ver, okay. We are, however, going to take a look at this idea of que en cuál, these two words. So we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to have a little lesson. You're going to see this lesson. Oh, and I think I need to ask it. Ooh, perdón. I need to log into my site. This is going to be an app that I used to build in a little lesson. The app is called Nearpod, Nearpod. You are going to get a link to it in the follow-up recap link, and it will be a link for you to paste this and go through this again at your own speed, okay? But we're going to use this today, right now, as a live feed to look at it together. And yes, I want to resume it. Okay. I have to. Okay. Got it. And now I need to share my screen on this. So don't feel you've got to take notes. What I am hoping, and here's where it's going to be the guinea pig thing. I'm hoping you'll be able, I will be able to actually give you control to do the quiz from your screens. We're going to see if that works. That's the big guinea pig question mark. Que o cuál, que o cuál. And actually we have to look at que or cuál or cuáles, right? Que translates as what, and cuál or cuáles, the plural form, translates as which, but we may use what in English when in fact Spanish would use cuál. You're going to see, we're going to look at a video with this. See, yeah, we'll have time to put that in. Que and cuál, I know we have definite definitions of what or cuáles meaning which, but cuáles sometimes we really in English to the translated use it as what. He's going to explain that in the video better than I can. So, por ejemplo, ¿cuál es la fecha? ¿Cuál es la fecha? What's the date? Literally, if you look up cuál and you see which, it would translate as which is the date. But in this case, in English, we wouldn't translate that as which is the date. We would translate it as what is the date. But even though we would translate it in English as what is the date, we would not put que in there ever. That would sound weird to somebody. If you ask questions as que es la fecha. Que es la fecha sounds like you don't understand what the word fecha means. And you want a definition for fecha, okay? That's the bottom line. ¿Cuál es la capital de México? Looks like which is the capital of Mexico. And technically, yeah, if you look at all the cities, which one out of all those is it? That's literally the mindset of using ¿Cuál es la capital de México? All right, but we would never translate that question as which is the capital. We would translate it in English as what is the capital. So see, my roundabout thing is what sometimes really will be used as cuál, even though technically the definition for cuál is not what. All right, cuál, however, does signal a choice among many possible things in that same category, you know. Capital meaning all kinds of cities, right? Fecha meaning a whole bunch of dates, 30 or 31 that are on a calendar of a certain month. Okay, bien, vale. La idea general cuando usamos es or son, especially when we use es or when we use son. We don't always use those with the question words que and cuál, but especially when que or cuál are followed by son. We need to keep it in this idea. Que es or que son generally is used for definición. It's used to give to identify something, to define something. Junto al sustantivo, it's used, que or cuál are used next to a noun, okay? Whereas cuál is used for pedir información. Cuál is used to ask for information, not to ask for a definition, to ask for information. O elegir algo del grupo, or to choose something out of a group. So instead of remembering a lot of rules about que and cuál, a nice 50-50, if it falls on this side, it's que, if it falls on that side, it's cuál. A nice 50-50 rule is that que is used for definitions, or when it's next to a noun, okay, to define something, to identify something specifically. And cuál is used to solicit, ask for, dig into information, or to choose something out of a group. Pick one thing out of many similar things, okay? Got it? And we have a couple other little clues that we can use. Que and cuál are both used with es or both used with son, but there are a couple of words, kind of like a big flag going up. There's signal clues. Cuál pairs up with de quite often. Cuál de signals that you are choosing something from a group of possible similar items. So when you see de, that's usually a signal that you're going to be using cuál next to de. Okay. Que plus a noun. When we use a noun as the next word, we generally use que. Now that one's not 100% because sometimes you can use cuál with a noun, and sometimes, this is one of those things where the technical Spanish grammar rule is you may not use cuál with a noun, but in fact, in conversation, when people speak, they sometimes violate that rule. Once in a while, people violate that. Just like people violate rules in English, like they say, oh, I'm gonna call you, instead of saying I'm going to call you. Right. It's just something that people sometimes violate, but generally que plus a noun, okay? If you've got a noun and that it's right next to that question word, it's gonna have to be the que word. Okay. So here we've got a couple of examples of cuál with de, or cuáles with de. La palabra de indica que es algo que eliges de un grupo. The word de of indicates that it's something that you choose out of the group. ¿Cuál o cuáles? ¿Sí? Por ejemplo, ¿cuál de estos nombres es tuyo? Which of these names, if somebody shows you a list, you know, you're on a bus, ready to get on the bus, and they need to do a head count to make sure they've got everybody. They might say, you know, ¿cuál de esos nombres es tuyo? Which one of these names is yours off this list? ¿Cuál de estos nombres es tuyo? Right? ¿Cuáles de las blusas quiere usted? Which of these blouses? Which of these three? ¿Sí? La verde, la blusa de azul, la blusa blanca de flores, o la blusa blanca con flores rojas. ¿Sí? ¿Cuál de las blusas quiere usted? Which of these blouses do you want? Okay. O ¿cuál de los aretes prefiere usted? Which of these earrings? ¿Cuáles de los aretes prefiere usted? Porque son pares, they're pairs, right? ¿Cuáles de los aretes? Which ones of these earrings would you pick? Okay. So ¿cuáles de? We're asking you to, you know, grab something out of the group as the one that you want. Okay. We're going to watch, vamos a ver. You know what? No, I'm going to let you watch this video later because I want to test this out. And I'm afraid we're going to run out of time. Okay. ¿Tienen preguntas? Do you have any questions on cuál and cuáles? Just those general ideas before we start. We're going to start with a little quiz.
I have a general question.
Sí, dime.
With the cuál versus cuáles, when you showed the group like of blouses, does that mean I have to pick more than one, or I can pick more than one?
Oh, cuáles de would mean that you're picking more than one. Right.
But
I could shorten it and say, ¿cuál de las blusas quiere usted? So that question could go either way.
Okay.
¿Cuál de las blusas quiere usted? Which one of the blouses do you want? Or somebody may phrase it because they think you want more than one.
Okay, like with the earring.
Okay. ¿Cuáles de las blusas? Yeah, which ones of those do you want? You want more than one of them? You want multiple ones? You know, maybe they want to encourage you to buy more than one. Right. ¿Cuáles? Yeah. So that might be phrased either way as ¿cuáles de las blusas or cuál de las blusas. It might be phrased either way. But if they ask it as ¿cuáles, they assume you are going to want more than one thing out of the group.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. And they're using a singular or a plural will signal that they think you want a multiple group versus just one.
So how would you then respond to that to say, I only want one and I want the albergue?
Quiero solamente una. Solamente quiero una. I just want one.
Okay. Right, because if you're talking to somebody on the street, they're going to try to get you to buy like the earrings. Like that was it. Oh, yeah, you're going to buy 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 now.
No,
I just want the one.
Quiero un par. I want one pair.
Okay.
Quiero un par de. Quiero un par. Quiero estos aretes y estos dos. These 2. Y nada más. Y nada más. Nothing more.
Oh, okay.
Eso es todo. That is it. Eso es todo. That is all. Right. Yeah, you just indicate what you want from that. Okay. Vale. I'm going to let you watch the video because I'm afraid we're going to lose. Here is what I'm hoping we can do.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We may go to plan B. I don't know. We may go back to the video if this does not work, but I am going to give control of the mouse to various people. Oh yeah, so you have to ask for control of the mouse, and I will have to give you, I can't just give control and all of you can free for all use it. I have to have somebody volunteer. So, en otras palabras, necesito un voluntario. I will need one person to click on the right response, and you will get this later to do it on your own. Okay, ¿vale? Bueno, la primera pregunta. Y hay 18, there are 18. So even though we're going to go through this, you're going to forget them again by the time you go through them midweek, I mean, would you remember all these? Yo no, not me. Okay. A ver, we need to pick if it's going to be qué or cuál with es un celular. ¿Pueden ver la pregunta? Can you see the question?
Sí.
¿Alguien quiere, does somebody want control of the remote? To try this one? All you got to do is click on the right one.
I would try it. I've got the little pencil and I can move it around with
Karen, I have given you control of the remote.
I don't know if okay, it says tap here to control. Okay. I see a little mouse. Isn't that cute?
Eso es, there you go.
Yes,
okay, so what do I do?
You need to pick whether it's qué or cuál to complete that question.
Okay.
Okay.
A o B.
Flip a coin, heads is A.
Well, I'm trying to hit
A.
I'm trying to hit A, but nothing is happening. I moved the mouse, but let me try moving the little pencil.
I see you're moving the mouse. I see it on my screen. You're moving it.
You saw it?
I saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm drawing something. Isn't it?
Okay.
Pencil. That's the pencil tool.
I like it. Very artistic.
Let's see if I need to give you.
But I haven't been able to.
Hang on. Let me change this a little bit. I'm going to change this to mouse. And now I'm going to, okay. And now your name is, okay, try it now because I changed you to a mouse.
All right. Okay, so I've got the mouse. The mouse is moving.
The mouse is moving.
up to K.
You went too far.
Well, on
Okay.
my
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
You got it.
Okay.
six.
So, do you want K or do you want Cuál?
You want K.
Okay.
I wanted K.
Yes.
You want K. Okay. Click on K again.
Oh, you want me to make that
I
work
know.
twice, huh? Well,
There
I
you go.
don't know.
Ah, sí. Okay.
Okay.
¿Vale? Bien.
Okay.
Funciona. It works. Okay. I just had to make you into a mouse. See, I have to tell it what to do. I'm learning this too. Okay.
I don't see it.
Próximo. Next one. Y vamos a ver. We're going to erase this little bit. We're going to turn it back into a
K.
mouse. Okay. Bien. Vale. I'm going to take this away so you can see everything. And you can see we've got a blank de estos es tu celular.
Ah.
Ah,
Sorry.
Oh,
Okay. ¿Quién quiere? Who wants control?
I'll try.
I do.
Okay. Susana. Susana, ¿quieres? Susana, you want it for this time?
Yes, please.
Okay. Vale. I'm going to make you the mouse, Susana.
Okay.
But I need to... Uy, ay, 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 ay. A ver. Okay. A ver. I think it should work now. Give it a go.
Yes.
privilege is revoked.
Wait, hello. Hello.
Oh,
Do
¿cuál?
it again.
There we go. ¿Cuál?
There we go.
¿Cuál? ¿Cuál de estos es tu celular? Which one of these is your
Cellular.
cell phone? Aquí vamos. Here we go. Okay. A ver. Próximo. Next. Blank. Día es la reunión. La reunión meeting. Not a reunion necessarily. A meeting is a reunion, okay?
Which day?
¿Quién quiere? Who wants it?
Keith.
Keith, okay. Vale, momento, Keith. Y, uy, ay, 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 ay. Otra vez. Aquí, al fondo. Ok. ¿Cuál es? The cursor is a little hesitant to take it. I know. It's different when you're controlling from something that's...
Huh.
Did it not
This is
click?
interesting.
It won't
I
click?
got the little mouse symbol.
I can see it moving, Keith.
I see a little hand.
Yeah,
There you
okay, right there, right there. Click it on. I can see it.
I'm trying.
Oh,
I know it doesn't always want
Maybe
to do
my
it
finger's too big.
when you type it. Well, it didn't want to do it for me either.
okay. Well,
There you
I
go.
know which one you wanted.
There
Okay.
goes.
¿Qué día? ¿Qué? Y
Sí.
nombre. ¿Qué? And a noun, right? Sí, está bien. Okay. A ver. Bueno. Es la capital de Colombia. ¿Quién quiere? ¿Quién quiere esta pregunta? Who wants this question?
I'm going to try it.
Pat, bien. Bueno,
Yeah,
momentito. Voy a cambiar.
We'll try.
Voy a cambiar este
Start.
mouse. Ok. Vale. Bueno, Pat.
Okay, I don't see anything yet.
Aquí.
I'm trying to press there. Is
¿Cuál?
that one?
Bien. Vale. Fantástico. Ok. ¿Cuál es la capital de Colombia? What's the capital of Colombia? Vale, magnífico. Número 5 dice, de las camisetas quiere usted. ¿Quién quiere? Who wants it?
I'll take it if nobody else wants it that hasn't done it already.
¿Sí? Ok, Karen. Bueno, momentito. Y a ver, momentito. Bien.
Hey, why is it not
Aquí. Bien.
there?
Bien,
Just
okay.
take,
Little help. Yeah, I can see what you wanted. Okay.
takes a
¿Cuál de
few.
las camisetas o cuáles de las camisetas? Which ones of the t-shirt? Depends, right? If they know you want more than one, ¿cuáles? ¿Cuáles and de, right? Our little signal word is de. Bien. Vale. Otro, número 6. Es tu cumpleaños, es tu cumpleaños. ¿Quién quiere? Who wants to take that one? Es difícil. That's kind of a hard one, actually. Believe it or not.
Keith will do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Vale, bueno. Vale, Keith.
Oh, here we got the same issue again.
Same issue? Which one do you want? ¿Qué o cuál? You want A. Okay. A ver. Bien, 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 bien. Okay.
Marilyn, can you talk about that one?
Yeah, I would have chosen Cuál.
Me too.
You would have chosen Cuál.
Yeah.
Okay. And it doesn't give us our answers until the end,
Okay.
as far as I know. Okay. Okay. ¿Qué es tu cumpleaños means what is your birthday? But if we're really asking what's your birthday, are we asking for information or are we asking for a definition?
We're asking what day is your birthday.
We're asking what day, and that is information, right?
Right.
So it really should be cuál.
Okay.
And that's a hard one.
So I got vetoed.
Now, having said that, would somebody understand you if you made that boo-boo? They would. They would understand what you meant. It would sound a little odd to them, but they would understand what you meant.
So we're asking for information. So we're asking you, tell me what day from the 365 days of the year, which one of those is your birthday?
Eso es.
But what day is the meeting? What day is the meeting?
But what day? It's right next to the word day. Day is a noun.
A noun.
Then that's why that's A.
And you know what? Now, so see, here's why this is tough. Because you have to kind of sink your brain into grammar speak. What day is something? What day is your birthday? Oh, let's change this question up. What day is your birthday? ¿Qué día es tu cumpleaños? That will be ¿qué día? Because I've got ¿qué next to the word día. So the thing is, the ideas of those two questions are the same. What day is the meeting? What day is your birthday? But sometimes we say, what's your birthday? Okay.
Or we say, when is your birthday?
Or you might say, when is your, well, right. And all those things in English are asking for the same kind of information. But the thing is here, if all you've got is es tu cumpleaños, the grammar dictates that it has to be cuál. ¿Cuál es?
So there's a right way and a wrong way, and they're both right.
Well, there's a right way and there's no, but there are different ways of asking that same information, but how you coordinate the word, which word is next to each other, is going to dictate whether it goes grammatically this way with K or grammatically this way with
Yeah, but I guess I go back to your comment as even though it's wrong grammatically in the grammatic law library,
yeah,
we can still communicate and be outside of the law library or grammar library, and everybody will still understand.
They'll still understand what you're saying. It will sound, I don't want to say stilted. It will sound, okay, I guess like, well, I can't think of a good example, but you know how people will make little faux pas in English, and you know what they mean. It sounds funny to you in your English mind. It sounds funny. Okay, like a little grandma who is learning English may say in English, my grandson has 10 years today. I am very proud of him. Well, it sounds funny to you, but you know, in her mind, she would say, mi nieto tiene 5 años, mi nieto tiene 10 años hoy. In Spanish, she'd be saying, mi nieto tiene 10 años, right? So in her brain, she's translating and says, my grandson has 10 years. You know she means he is 10 years old. You know she means that. But it sounds a little off-key to you in English. So it's like that. That's the idea. ¿Ok? Bien. Vale. Vamos con 7, 7, 7. Ah, ¿quién quiere el número 7? Who wants number 7? ¿Carro prefieres? ¿Quién quiere? Who wants to take a shot at that?
I'll try.
Ok, bueno, momentito. Mouse y... Vale. Vale, vamos. Go for it.
Did that?
¿Qué? Bien.
Oh, there we go.
¿Qué carro prefieres? Bien. ¿Qué carro prefieres? What car do you prefer? Now, in English, we might say, which car do you prefer, or what car do you prefer? Is there any difference if you say it either way in English?
No.
There really isn't. Okay?
Yes, there is. It depends where you're asking the question.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay.
So if I'm, and it's just from personal experience. So if I'm at the rental car counter at an airport and somebody asks me, which car do you prefer? They're asking me to pick one from a menu in the lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So there is, but you know, in this case, we need the que there because we've got carro, a noun. So it matters what word is next to that word or what word is next to that. You know, what word is next to que, what word is next to cuál, what word comes next, that makes the difference. That makes the difference. Vale. Aquí. Platos, dishes, meaning edible type things off of the menu. Platos quieren ustedes del menú. ¿Quién quiere? Who wants to take a shot?
Platos is a noun, but
Platos is a noun.
choice. You've got a choice, so
It is a choice, but it's next to a noun.
So that's
They
supersede.
have to be K then?
Has to be que.
Huh.
Now,
Yeah,
here's
would've
how I
said
could
like-
change it. Here's how I could change it, but with the same expression, but change up the order of the words. ¿Cuáles son los platos? ¿Cuáles son los platos que quieren? ¿Cuáles son los platos?
which
If it's not next to the noun, ¿cuáles son los platos? Which ones are the dishes? Then it's ¿cuáles son? Or ¿cuáles de los platos aquí? ¿Cuáles de los platos aquí? If I've got de, it's ¿cuáles de? But if it's just blank platos, platos is a noun. So, ¿qué platos quieren ustedes? ¿Qué bebidas quieren ustedes? What drinks do you want?
So that's like if there a server was asking you as the customer.
Exacto.
Right? Okay.
Exacto. Right. As if somebody's asking you, that's the waiter. And which word order somebody decides to use is just whatever they decide to use. Just like a waiter here may say, what drinks do you want? Or which one of these drinks looks good on these pictures? Which one looks good? Okay, what drinks do you want, or which drinks look good on the menu to you today? They may say that either way, right? It depends on what they feel like, but which grammar structure is right is another thing. Okay, son los recuerdos. Recuerdos aquí son souvenirs. Son los recuerdos que quiere usted.
I'll do it.
Susana, ok, momentito. Ok, vale. Have a go. I hope, hang on, let me see that I gave you the. Oh, you can do it. Okay, vale, momentito, go ahead. I'm interfering with you, go for it. Bien, vale. Ok. ¿Cuáles son los recuerdos que quiere usted? Which ones are the souvenirs that you want? ¿Cuáles son? Which ones are they? ¿Cuáles son? ¿Cuáles son? Which ones are they? You're asking to pick something out of a group. Vale, aquí. Y 10. Otra vez, en un restaurante. Again, in a restaurant. We've got the same thing of a waiter talking to you. Un camarero que está hablando.
I'll do it.
De estos vinos me recomienda. Do you recommend me?
Todos.
¿Cuál?
¿Qué o cuál?
¿Cuál?
Wow.
¿Cuáles?
Wow.
Sí.
Aquí, right there, okay? Because we've got that word de, we need cuál or cuáles. You know, he may be assuming that, or you may be asking, wow, there are a bunch of wines. Which ones you recommend? And then he's going to narrow it down from that, right? ¿Cuál de estos vinos or cuáles de estos vinos if you want more than one recommendation, right? And there's you talking back to the waiter. ¿Está bien? Okay. Eventually, at the end, if we go all the way to the end, it will tally up how many right and how many wrong. I'm not going to do all of them because I want you to go in and do some of those this week on your own. And before you do that, I want you to go back and watch this whole video, which is a really super good video. He really breaks it down. And Keith, you are right. In a lot of ways, we are asking the same question, but it does become kind of a grammar thing, whereas certain words will trigger that you use que or cual. Often that is the way it happens to go. And it's just an idiosyncrasy of how their grammar works, okay? And actually, he does explain that too, that it's an idiosyncrasy, that you can't always go by the English, is what he'll tell you, which is true. So you're going to watch that and go through the whole thing and go through the whole exercise. You're going to get this, however, as a lesson to do on your own. So it's going to be a link that contains this whole thing. You don't have to log into a separate video. This video will be a part of the link for this lesson. ¿Entienden? Understand? This video is one of the many slides connected with this lesson, okay? So you'll get this whole, when you get the link, it's going to be this whole package of all of these slides all together. And then
so we don't have to sign up to that app that
you don't no, you don't have to sign up for it. No.
Okay.
You do not. It will be a link that will just get you into this exact site. And I don't even pay for this. There is a paying version, but there's no reason I have to do it. I just refresh things every week. I'm limited to the number of lessons I can do with it, but it's kind of nice for me too, because I can see how many people got which things correct. And so, you know, it kind of helps me see which things are harder for people, which things are easy for people, you know, what you got, what you didn't. Yes, and that's it. Okay, ¿está bien?
Está bien.
¿Está bien? Okay. La historia. I will give you this link. I will give you a little article. Well, yeah, I'll give you the shorter. I had 2 articles prepped. I'm going to give you shorter than 2. And I'll give you the links to the next episode of Destinos and the next episode of El Tiempo Entre Costuras, if that's the harder movie. So if you want to watch it, great. If you do not want to watch it, it's purely optional, but it is a fun story. So, and I think, is it episode 5 I need to give you out of Costuras? It's 5 because we did 4.
5 in both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, 5 in both of them. Okay, good, because then we're in sync. That'll help me remember. All right. Número 5. Episodio número 5. Episode 5 for both of them. Vale, ¿está bien?
Sí.
Está bien.
Bueno, okay. Son las 7:30. We're a little past 7:30. So I'll let people chat their way off and talk about whatever. If you need to leave immediately, that's a-okay. If you want to chit chat a little, that's also okay.
Adios.
Adios.
Okay. Bien. Es un placer. It is a pleasure. And my daughter's got online courses only. Yay. She was waiting for approval from the art department
Oh,
because they wanted them to come in person
well,
to do artwork.
my
She said-
granddaughter moves
I
in
kind of
next week.
understand, but
Oh, your daughter, she
My
moves in?
granddaughter, she'll be moving into the dorm next week, not here in Wisconsin.
Oh, in
Where's she
Wisconsin.
going,
But
Pat?
she's at Marquette, and she is
Oh,
going to
okay.
have a 4-hour lab on Wednesday, an anatomy lab, which is really
oh,
hard to do online.
Oh.
But most of her other classes are online. I think she only has one class that's not. So.
And they will probably set up labs
They have
so
a
that they only have a
45
limited number
rule
of people.
book or something. They have to sign their lives away. You know.
Yeah. Oh, really? Wow.
Well, that's
Wow.
what I heard. I don't know.
Well, Notre Dame
2 weeks.
is 2 weeks closed down. Well, closed down for in person. Notre Dame had a rocky start. My niece that's her alma mater, so she still follows. She's like studying elsewhere, but she was talking with me this last week, and she said, the president of the university took his picture, and he had a group picture with like 50 people, 30 people.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and they're all standing there with their masks, but they're huddled up, arms around their shoulders, and took a picture. And she said, how stupid was this? And then he posted an apology that he had not set a good example for social distancing. But the problem that they had at Notre Dame stems from fraternity parties.
Yeah,
Parties that people had off campus.
that'll happen.
and you do.
140 people later.